Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. What if banks put just 1% of their assets into XRP, or cryptocurrencies at large? What would that mean? Well, a lot of implications here, so lots to unpack, frankly, but what got me wanting to talk about this was this article from Bitcoinist.com titled, "Banks Putting 1% of Assets into Bitcoin Could Send Bitcoin Past $20,000, says an analyst," and I will be sharing with you his perspective and rationale for all of that. Now, banks, mind you, they do hold various types of assets, including stocks, for example. So the idea of ultimately a bank holding cryptocurrency for purposes other than custody for a customer, it's not that the concept is so absurd. I just don't know to what degree it's going to happen anytime soon. And even as it pertains to stocks, I think that there still is regulatory uncertainty with a lot of this, which is part of the reason why I'm saying that. I'm just saying it's not like a wacky thing to talk about. But even as it pertains to stocks, there are federal regulations that limit how much stocks a bank can hold. You know, there are also all sorts of regulations for banks as far as, you know, what amount of money do you have to have on hand in case a certain quantity of customers want to check out, exit the bank, close their account, and take their money. Like, how much do you have to have on hand? And then for customer checking accounts, there's the FDIC, and so there are federally insured up to $250,000 or something. The checking accounts typically are. So there's a lot at play here, and I don't know that there's necessarily sufficient regulatory clarification to make it likely or reasonable for a bank to be holding cryptocurrency outside of custody, which we already know they just got the green light. That was the biggest news a couple days ago. So that's fine. That will happen probably sooner than later, probably much sooner than later. I'm willing to bet that based on that news, there's all sorts of banks that are talking about this and potentially moving forward. But as far as banks holding it on their own, we'll talk about it, but it could be a while. Before we go any further, though, if you would please delicately tap that like button, I would certainly appreciate it. And also, if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, you done came to the right spot, son or daughter. Go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, because why the hell not, man? Don't cost nothing. So this article here starts with 2 bullet points. The first one is, U.S. banks can now hold cryptographic keys, meaning they can store Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other digital assets, XRP. Analysts say that this move is extremely positive for the space, and I firmly agree. It's probably the biggest news in the world of crypto for all of 2020. Second bullet point. One commentator says that a move by U.S. banks to hedge and invest in Bitcoin, even with 1% of their assets, could send this market skyrocketing. Now, why would that be possible? In terms of, like, how is it that you talk about a 1% allocation for banks sending a cryptocurrency skyrocketing? It's not necessarily as wacky as you might think. And again, I'm not saying that banks are going to be jumping and doing this necessarily anytime soon, but what if they were to? You know, it's just a matter of fact that this entire asset class is ridiculously illiquid because barely anyone participates. You know, less than 1% of humans on the planet hold cryptocurrency. Less than 1% of humans. And here we are. Look at this. And that's why I'm telling you, we are absolutely, unquestionably on the cutting edge of this stuff here, even a decade into the existence of this asset class. Unquestionably, this is the cutting edge, and that's why there's this frenzy around, and people are still trying to figure out what cryptocurrencies will be the winners, right? And I certainly think XRP will be one of them because it's actually getting used today. And I say that again, I'm not offering financial advice. I want to be clear. I do not have a financial background. I'm just sharing an opinion with you as a regular Joe Schmo here. But there's definitely something to this here. And so the piece continues. A growing number of Wall Street investors have revealed they're holding Bitcoin as a hedge after considering the asset's macro performance. Their positions are small, in most cases, making up a reported 1 to 3% of their portfolio. And so even outside of banks, which, you know, holding cryptocurrency, and again, not on behalf of customers, just the idea of banks choosing to hold cryptocurrency as an investment for whatever reason, even though that's probably, I would suspect, a bit further off, you're already seeing institutional investors jump in increasingly as it becomes more and more clear that this asset class is here to stay. And I'm telling you, is as long as the internet exists, this crypto asset class is going to continue to exist. And now, this may not sound like a lot, 1 to 3%, but An analyst recently reminded crypto Twitter that a few percentage points here and there can go a long way. And consider this too. So how is it possible? So this guy, and I'm going to share with you exactly what he had to say, but his actual tweet. But so if you're talking about, and this is what's kind of exciting as an XRP holder here, is if you're talking about, let's say 1% exactly, and it would be more than this according to this guy, but let's say it exactly doubled the current market price of Bitcoin. Well, think about how much money has to flow into Bitcoin to double the price versus how much money has to flow into XRP for it to double the price. Given that XRP is less liquid, it takes, and there's less volume too, it'll take less money flowing into XRP on the whole to result in substantial increase in substantial gains price-wise compared to Bitcoin. And that's true. So like the smaller cap the coin, the more true that is. Now I'm not interested in investing in small cap coins unless there were actually something brought to my attention that could functionally do something, and I just am unaware of anything. But I'm not here for some sort of quick money grab. I'm here for a long play, like a decades long play. And when I say that, I mean that because I'm not going to sell all of my XRP ever, even if it jumps up and I want to sell it. Okay, fine, if I make the decision to do that super duper, but I'm never going to sell all of it. I'm going to have it for the rest of my life. That's my plan here. But according to digital asset manager Charles Edwards, Bitcoin could more than double on one condition. If U.S. banks, here I'm just going to pull up the tweet here. Here's the tweet from Charles Edwards. If U.S. banks put just 1% of their assets into Bitcoin as an investment, hedge, or insurance, the Bitcoin price more than doubles. Just one NASDAQ stock, Grayscale, already owns 2% of circulating Bitcoin supply today. It's not hard to see where this is going. Yeah, so Grayscale's obviously on the cutting edge, and they do hold XRP as well. Although they changed the way that they weighted their holdings, they actually reduced the percentage in terms of the way that their holdings are weighted by 1.4%. I think that their holdings, I think it's, I want to say 3.6% XRP. So it's real close to that if I am off. So it's a shame that and I made a video about that when they brought it down. It's just, okay, man. But they do still hold a bunch of XRP as well. In terms of the quantity, I think that's gone up because they've been buying so much. And then you can see, so this chart that he's got here, this is a chart of total assets of all commercial banks. You can see it goes back to a little before 1975, all the way up to 2020. And so you can see, obviously, that's an endlessly upward trend. That's what it looks like. And so you can imagine 1% of that flowing into crypto. I get exactly what he's saying here. I'm interested in checking to see exactly. Well, I mean, we're already tracking this, but just seeing what happens again with institutional investors here. Let me jump back here. That may have been the gist of what I wanted to cover there. Yeah, here we go. So I'm sorry, just one sec here, guys. I want to make sure I don't pass anything that I wanted to cover with you. Yeah, so he talks about it being 20 trillion assets. So this, of course, was a theoretical scenario that he was citing there, but Edwards said that it's not hard to see where this is going. And yeah, here we go. Here's another quote. Bitcoin is mirroring the 2016 return to its previous peak. That was the last time supply was halved and the third year after a significant peak. Fast forward 4 years, and the second year after the almost 75% decline in 2018, Bitcoin will approach the record high of about $20,000 this year, in our view, if it follows 2016's trend. Now, that would be fascinating because that would be certainly sooner than later, and then you can expect, I fully anticipate this, that XRP will lag behind by 6 months, a year, whatever, because, well, I mean, think about it. It was flat during the massive run-up for pretty much all coins in 2017. It was flat for like half a year. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was volatile within a certain band, but my gosh, it was flat. And like people were in December were selling right before the spike, this and that. I'm like, yeah, God. If some people really missed out, seriously missed out on the biggest jump in XRP price, for the history of the entire asset here. And so right now, XRP is at 21.6 cents, Bitcoin's at 9,724, and then you got the crypto market cap at $293 billion. So it's certainly been going up. We're about to be knocking on 300 billion's door right here. And I saw this article also. This is from newsbtc.com. I just wanted to touch on it. But it says, after parabolic rally, altcoins may soon retrace against Bitcoin. and there seems to be some sort of indicator. And I'm not even necessarily convinced of this, but I just think it's fun food for thought here. And so let me jump down to, I think it was the relevant portion here. Yeah, this subheading: Are altcoins about to get crushed by Bitcoin's big breakout? And that's the thing. So Bitcoin, it's been increasing generally as of late, and altcoins have too. And so altcoins have just been outpacing it. So that's where you're getting this decrease in dominance from Bitcoin. But understand that even if altcoin dominance increases, it doesn't mean that the dollar value of Bitcoin has to decrease. That's not the case at all. But altcoins that have suffered extreme devastation, dropping to as low as 99% from their former all-time highs, may be in for a lot more carnage. Well, that sounds scary. Bitcoin dominance hasn't just triggered a 9-buy setup on weekly price charts. The setup is taking place at the bottom trend line of what appears to be a massive bull flag on Bitcoin dominance price charts. And this is why, for me, it's important to understand, like, even if they're right about this, and that's an if, even if they're right about this, all the other cryptocurrencies still follow the price action of Bitcoin, so there's always going to be this teeter-tottering back and forth, this and that. It doesn't mean that there's some sort of catastrophic problem for those that are patient and understand how markets work. But the bull flag mimics the previous multi-year consolidation pattern, which resulted in a break to the upside in 2019 and altcoins collapsing. It also had a similar 9-buy setup on the TD sequential, which is pictured above. So if you want to look, that's the chart that they're talking about. If the setup on weekly Bitcoin dominance charts plays out the same way, the leading cryptocurrency by market cap will end up commanding as much as 85% of the total cryptocurrency market. Altcoins would take an enormous dive lower on Bitcoin ratios. How they perform in USD trading pairs will depend heavily on Bitcoin. If altcoin valuations remain the same and Bitcoin runs, the same dominance effect would result. Look, I don't know if magically Bitcoin is actually going to increase in the short term in terms of dominance, but I will say the vast majority of opinions that I've seen were opposite. So this was going against the grain, which is in part why I wanted to highlight. I haven't seen much of this, but most people are busy talking about how, hey, this is alt season, altcoin dominance is going to continue to increase. And you saw what happened towards the late 2017, early 2018. Bitcoin dominance was down to 34, 35%, something like that. So, and again, today, what is it now? Here, I'll pull up Live Coin Watch. Where is it? I always forget. There we go. 61%. That's the lowest I can recall seeing it in this calendar year. 61.19%. So, yeah, I mean, it's possible it could go, but my gosh, it's been a while since Bitcoin dominance has been at 85%. So, we shall see. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Why not? I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!